What's up, everybody? It's your boy Will Motivation, and today we're going to start out this video here in my garage. But yeah, we're talking about how to recognize a good deal. How to recognize a good deal in real estate when you're looking to buy a rental property or if you're looking to buy a potential flip. So to start out this lesson, figure we take a quick field trip to one of my properties that I'm currently rehabbing, and let's talk about how I was able to recognize that this was a good deal. We'll talk about the numbers, everything I can pretty much remember, and then after the little field trip, checking out that property and talking about that property in my mind frame when I bought that property and how I knew it was a good deal. After we talk about that in this little field trip, we'll come back and then we'll break down the numbers, and I'll show you how you can evaluate properties to see if they would be good rental properties or good flips. And for me, one of my criteria for buying a good investment property, for me, an investment property can be rented for a profit and or flipped for a profit. And for me, it's both. So I always look for properties where I can flip them if I need to. For example, if I need to pay some taxes or I need to just liquidate, I can turn a profit on a quick flip or even a flip after a few years. I like that scenario. I like buying a property that allows me to do that. And then also I like buying properties that I can cash flow. So if I get it for a good price, I get the right mortgage or loan for that property with the right payment, then I can turn around and make a monthly profit off of renting it out, especially if we're in a down market, like if the real estate market is not hot, which is really the best time to buy. All right, let's go check it out. All right, so it's actually a pretty cold fall day outside, so I'm gonna get this conversation started early so you guys can kind of understand what my mind frame was when I started investing in real estate, how I was able to recognize a good deal pretty quickly. So one thing I like about real estate is it's not hard to understand. It's not hard to actually know a good deal when you see one, when you're familiar with the prices of real estate in a certain zip code or a certain area. So when I started investing in real estate, I started investing in properties that were in my zip code because I was familiar with how much houses cost in my zip code. So I purchased a home for $160,000 in 2000. It was my first house. I was working a corporate job. I was starting a family. I just got married, had 2 kids. Well, I didn't have 2 kids yet, but I wanted to have a family. So I was like, let me be smart. I'll buy a house. And then, I just felt that was a smart thing to do. I didn't know a whole lot about real estate, but I knew how much I paid for my house. I paid $160,000. Then I bought a condo that I planned on using because I was actually going through a divorce. And I bought a condo for $140,000. So I bought my house for $160,000, bought the condo for $140,000, and my house was your stereotypical middle class house in like a new housing development type of situation, where it was a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath house, and my condo was 2 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. So $160,000, $140,000. And people were buying houses at that price point all day long in that zip code, all the way up to, houses that cost $200,000, and then even in some nicer, newer neighborhoods, up to $400,000 or $500,000, even higher than that in some neighborhoods in the zip code. But in my neighborhood, with the stats of my house, I would say the medium, the average house, because I went shopping for houses, was like $150,000, $160,000. So knowing that, when the real estate market took a downturn around 2008, which was right after I bought my condo for $140,000, I went to go sell the condo because I wanted to move into a house again, and I noticed that the house prices were pretty good. They were saying that my condo was worth only $90,000. I was like, that is, how in the world can it be worth $90,000 when I just paid $140,000 and I felt it was worth $140,000? And the reason why is basically the real estate market got tight. Banks stopped lending money, thus people were not able to easily buy properties, so the buying activity dropped, and so did the price of the houses. So it was just the market, like the market just went down. There was no confidence. People were scared to buy houses and things of that nature. So for me, it was all artificial, because it wasn't like, at least the city where I am, it wasn't like the job market dropped dramatically like that. So why would the housing market drop dramatically like that? People were just scared to buy houses. People were just not buying houses. So I said, okay, it's just a matter of time for the prices to go back up and buying activity to resume. So I felt like it was an artificially low market because people were willing to pay more than that amount, right? Because I paid $160, I paid $140 for the condo, and it went down to $90. So for me, that was recognition that the prices were lower than what they should be, because people were willing to pay a lot more. So I started looking around at the properties and how low they were compared to what I was comparing the prices to were the original purchase price of the home. So there were houses like, for example, I bought a condo for $25,000, and when it was sold new just a few years earlier, it sold for $107,000 or something like that. So I looked at that and said, okay, at some point in time, people were willing to pay over $100,000 for this house, and now because people are scared to buy and the house is in, poor condition because they have pets and stuff like that, now it's only worth $25,000. If somebody at one point in time was willing to pay $107,000, it's just a matter of time before it goes back up there and then beyond, because I studied enough about the real estate market to see that it goes up and down, but over time it continues to go up. It just keeps going up, but you have dips every now and then. So that was the basis for me understanding and recognizing a good deal. That was the basis, comparing the for sale price, the current for sale price, and this is actually one of my properties right here on the corner. I bought that house for like $80,000, or no, I think I bought it for a little bit more. It's like $90,000, and then now the value is like right around $200,000, and I rented out for like $1,500 a month. So it's a real good cash cow. But anyway, this is the neighborhood that I bought in. This is the neighborhood I bought my first house, and middle class. I watched this whole neighborhood get built up from new, and I know how much people were paying. And then when the market dropped, I saw how low it went, and I was like, you know what? It's artificially low. I'm gonna try to start buying. And I was just trying to get them as low as I could. But I recognized, that's part of how I was able to recognize a good deal, because I knew the original sales price of the homes. I knew the neighborhoods. Really, there wasn't anything dramatic going on in the neighborhoods to make them drop in price so much. So I had familiarity with this particular area, this particular market, and the values. So that familiarity made it easier for me to recognize a good deal. All right, so that was like my foundation. I was like, okay, I'm getting ready to start getting into real estate investing, because I see these houses are lower than what people paid for them, and it's just a matter of time before it goes back. Now, how low will these houses go, and can I get them for? And then let me learn how to actually do the numbers to see what kind of profit I can make with a mortgage buying some of these houses, and how much money I can make every month until the market comes back, and then maybe I sell some of them, or maybe I keep some of them. So that was the foundation for me understanding or recognizing a good deal, is just looking at the price. But we're at one of my properties now. Okay, so I just stopped by one of my rental properties, which I'm renting out to my best friend, who's like a brother to me. And I don't make any profit off of that house. but I feel like I've been very fortunate in life. I've been blessed in things, and so I like to take care of people that I care about and that care about me. And that's one of my favorite people on earth. And so one of the good things about real estate, man, you can bless other people sometimes, you know, when you're in that situation, and just do good things. So anyway, he was actually hooking me up with the little rent payment for it. But look, this is the first house. This wasn't really meant to be a tour type video, but this is the first house that I bought in this neighborhood. That is my first home. That was my starter home. Middle class house I bought for $160. And now that house is worth about $220. And I've rehabbed it already, so it's in good shape. I'm gonna probably keep that one for the long haul. But it makes about $1,600 a month in rent. And I'm gonna show you guys how you do those numbers to calculate what the profit is. But I've got a mortgage on it. Mortgage is maybe around $700 a month. And then I've got taxes and insurance, brings it up a little bit more. And so the profit on it is probably ends up being right around $500 or $600 a month. Now, when I started, I wanted to be real conservative. My goal was to make at least $500 per month in profit on each property, because I was inexperienced and I was afraid if I did anything wrong, like with my calculations, I wanted to make enough profit per month to cover up my inexperience, you know, like with repairs or whatever it might be. So if you're just getting started, you want to be conservative, because you don't want to get so close. Like if you say I'm only going to make $100 a month in profit after all your expenses, that's cutting it too close in my opinion. You want to make a nice profit, like, you know, at least $400 a month off of your rental property. And you should also buy in a place where you can appreciate, the property will appreciate. Now, one thing I've learned, I'm going to just give you a quick piece of knowledge, is that single family homes, detached homes, rise in value or appreciate faster and at a faster rate and higher rate than condos. Condos appreciate much slower, at least in my market. Now you got to kind of look at every single market and pay attention to what kind of houses make good rent money and also appreciate in value. But that's what I've learned, at least around here. So we're going to check out a property that I had to evaluate at some point, and it's actually undergoing rehab right now. Man, people are flying down the street. It's undergoing rehab right now. So we're going to check that out, see what the status is. But we're also going to talk about the numbers with this house and what how I evaluated it. So look at this. Here's the neighborhood. Same class of neighborhood as my first house. So I knew, based on the size of the house, I can guess pretty much what the value is. That's how comfortable I was with the value, right? And the numbers. So these houses are just the same as the neighborhood we just came out of, where I bought my first home. Values range from probably brand new, they were probably going from 135, 140, all the way up to, and this is the house, all the way up to probably 190 over here, okay? So let's talk about this house. Okay, so the house behind me, I bought this house for $79,000. I believe new. This house cost one thing about this house was that it was a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bathroom. So I was very familiar with that kind of house in this kind of neighborhood and what the price should be. But it came up as a foreclosure for $79,000. It was brought to me by a realtor. And of course, knowing how much it costs new, I was hedging my bet that eventually it would return to that value when the market came back. But for me, I wasn't looking at this as a flip. I was looking at this as an opportunity to buy and hold and then maybe sell it later, or just cash flow it when it gets, especially once the mortgage gets paid off. So I actually got a mortgage on it. I came up with the 20%, of that 80,000 or 79,000, I financed this home and I bought it, and I had to do a rehab. And so what I did to add value, so that in the case I did have to sell it before the market came back, I added a bedroom and I made it really nice. Basically, I brought it back to new condition with an additional bedroom. So I added a 4-bedroom, and we can actually take a look at it. But so my thought process was, the learning thing here is this, at the time the market was down, and I wasn't buying anything at that time thinking it was a flip, but I always could have flipped it because I could add value, and it was sort of in bad condition. So let's check it out. All right, so we're inside the house. It's going through paint, and it looks like a lot of stuff to do here. And I got some sort of amateur help on this one, and it looks like I'm gonna have to get some professional help on this one because yeah. Anyway, I added some value to this house to hedge my bet that if I needed to sell this house for any reason, I could sell it for a slight profit considering the market. And then later, when the market comes back, I don't know if you guys can see me, but hopefully you can hear me. Yeah, we're gonna have to paint. So they're starting to paint, okay. This doesn't look too bad up here. This doesn't look too bad. They're starting to get some painting. Yeah, they're not doing too bad. Okay, so they're doing room by room is their strategy, all right. This doesn't look too bad. Good job. Downstairs just wasn't done, but this upstairs just doesn't look bad at all. Okay, so I'm saving a little bit of money, but it's slow moving. But anyway, now the market was different when I bought this house compared to what the market is like now. Now the market is high. Real estate is up. Like the value of this home went from 79,000 when I bought it all the way up to 220-ish right now. So I could potentially sell this house for a healthy profit, but it's a single family home. Now, if this was a condo, I might think about selling it, but my condos have not risen in value like my single family homes. So if anything, I would be looking to potentially sell my condos because they don't appreciate in the long run like these single family homes. But my condos are actually making money as well, as far as rental property, rental cash flow is concerned. So, this was a really good investment. But my mind frame with this was figure out how much I can make in rental income until the market comes back. Now, if I was to buy this house now, like I said, I would be looking, because the market is high, the mortgage is going to be higher, the monthly payments are going to be higher, the taxes are going to be higher because the property values are up. So my potential rental income would probably be lower if I bought now. So I would be looking to buy this as a potential flip. So I would try to get the best deal possible on the purchase price, fix it up, and then turn around and sell it for a quick profit until the market comes way down, and then I'm buying some cash flow properties, right? That you can rent them or flip them. But like buying this now, the way the market is hot right now, it's probably not a good market for buying rentals because everything is more expensive and your cash flow is going to be too tiny. So what you would want to do is buy something sort of at a wholesale price, the best price you can get it, because maybe it's a foreclosure or maybe it's really messed up. You get a deal on it, you fix it up, and then you try to sell it for maximum. So like if you look at all these houses in this neighborhood, and then you look at how much they cost, I'm going to try to get more than what every other house costs in this neighborhood because I'm going to put more value into the home, like granite countertops. My flips I do nice, like I do, everything's going to be up to date, updated, and then, try to maximize the profit. So that is sort of the high level mind frame that I had when I started investing in real estate, and basically playing it safe by buying things that I could rent out for a profit in hopes that the market would come back, and that I had patience that the market would come back. And so that's what you gotta look at. You gotta be able to do the numbers as well though. So we're gonna talk about the numbers here shortly, but I wanted to show you guys this house. You know, they're working on it. It's taking a little while, but honestly, I'm pleased with what I'm seeing. Now, talking about rehab stuff though, see these, see that beige on beige? I'm gonna probably switch all those to white. It's gonna cost a little bit, but I'm gonna probably switch them all to white. Then they're gonna have to come in and clean up all these edges and stuff with the paint. So, but it's not looking too bad. But anyway, let me show you guys something. This is in this house. This was actually all open to downstairs, and we built this bedroom right here. So it's more like a little office space, but it's got a window and it's got a closet, so it can be considered a bedroom. But we basically, all we had to do is build the floor and then build a closet and then put in a window, and we had an additional bedroom. So this is now a 4-bedroom home, and increases the value. And it was basically me hedging my bet. So if I had to sell it, I had the extra value in the home with it being a 4-bedroom versus a 3-bedroom when I bought it. All right, so there you go. That's the real estate lesson of the day. We are going to break down the numbers as a part of the course. But for now, you get the mind frame and the mindset for recognizing a deal by looking at what the market is doing and then preparing to buy real estate when the market is low, right? And then you sell when it's high, or you sell after you get the value in it through your rehab, or you just rent it for a profit. Got me? Not too hard.